Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting something new. It's going to be part of a series that I'm doing called Behind the Songs. So every once in a while, I will post a video of either the background, behind the scenes of recording or editing videos, or what I'm doing today, which is the backstory of my songs. So today I'm starting out with my song Learning Brave. I will put a link to the video wherever the I button is, so you can watch it. So yeah, let's get into the video. I wrote Learning Brave back in March. This year I'm doing a challenge for myself where I write a new song every month, and this was my song for March. So back in March, I went with some friends to a tour. It's near Dallas, Texas, and the company is called Learning Brave. They are amazing. I loved it. It was such a life-changing experience. So if you want to check them out, I will put a link to their website in the description box. But I went on this tour and learned about being brave. And this is where the song came from. It's the lessons that I learned in this week. So the first verse is, being brave is trying things even when you're afraid. Being brave is learning from mistakes that you've made. Trust another person, let them see who you truly are. Open the door and you can let down your guard. So it was the first full day we talked about being vulnerable and how you can make deeper connections with others when you kind of let your walls down, and really open up to other people. And of course, you don't need to share your whole life story with every single person, but that you really can connect with other people when you let down your guard a little bit. And that being brave isn't the absence of fear. Being brave is doing something despite fear. Then the chorus is, in each chapter of the book, I will say, I'm learning brave every day, being the perfectly imperfect me, making friends that will help me stand and who help me become who I want to be. My past won't define me, but it can remind me that even when I'm afraid, I am still learning brave. I kind of took it as life is like a book and we're the author and we're still writing our story. We're still trying to figure out where it's going, and that no matter where I go and no matter what chapter of life I'm in, that I'm still learning brave. I'm still learning new things. I'm still trying new things. And that I'm choosing not to let fear stop me from living my best life. So I love the phrase. I don't remember where I heard it or if I came up with it, but I've wanted to include perfectly imperfect me in one of my songs, and it just kind of fit here. That I'm not perfect, but I'm enough. That while I am imperfect, that to God I'm still enough and that I'm still worth it. And that I'm perfect even though I'm not. And then making friends that will stand and help me become who I want to be. This trip really changed how I viewed friendships, and that friends really are people that stand with you in any point of life. They will be there through every chapter, even if they aren't the main character in every chapter, that they still stand with you, and that they're always going to be there by your side. And that they help you become the best version of yourself. My past won't define me, but it can remind me that even when I'm afraid, I'm still learning brave. We watched a movie called Mully. It's a documentary about this guy who lives in Kenya, Africa, and he really had a hard childhood, and he really started at the bottom and made it to the top, and then he made it to the top, had this really successful business, and then he gave it all up. He gave up his business. He quit his job. He said, I'm never working for money again. and started helping with these homeless kids and giving them a place of belonging. And it's just a super amazing story. When we were watching that, it talked a lot about how our past shapes who we are, but it doesn't have to define who we are. We don't have to stay in the lows, but we can use the lows to help us get to the top. And that whether we're at the bottom or at the top, we're still learning brave. And yeah. The second verse is, find what I want and step into the unknown. It's not faith if we already know. You can't be happy without tears or brave without feeling fear. And when you feel it, hold on to people that hold you near. Good things come when you get out of your comfort zone. And that's something that I really learned a lot on this trip, that like so much good comes when you step out of your comfort zone. And that when you find a dream, don't be afraid to chase after it. Like, yes, there is unknown, and yes, it's scary, but it's so rewarding. And then this is a line that someone said that really stuck out to me. It said, she said, it's not faith if we already know. And it just kind of like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And that you can't have faith if you already know what's going to happen. That's the whole point of faith. Faith is like believing in things that you don't, like, that you can't see. And so if we already know what's going to happen, then you really can't have faith. And then you can't be happy without tears or brave without feeling fear. That was another thing that really stuck out to me. I always thought that being brave was like, not having fear, that fear just didn't exist. People weren't afraid of anything. And I learned that like being brave is feeling fear and doing it anyway. One way that it like really connected with me, I am really afraid of heights, and if you ask anyone from this trip, I am terrified of heights. And they had something called the giant swing.
Get us all the way to the top, we'll just hug the pole and hold
on. Where basically you get in a harness with someone else and they pull you up and you release yourself and you go swinging. And I was really scared and it was exciting. But there were a lot of lessons that I learned from that I wouldn't have learned had I not gotten out of my comfort zone and had I not done something that I was afraid of. And so I was afraid, but that experience taught me that I really am more brave than I think sometimes. That being brave really isn't just not having fear, it's having fear but choosing not to let it stop you. And that like you can't be happy without feeling sad, and you can't be brave without feeling fear. And that I learned that when you feel fear, that you shouldn't put your walls back up. Like, we worked so hard on this trip to kind of bring our walls down and be vulnerable with each other and really make deeper connections. And that when you feel fear, you shouldn't build your wall back up because it becomes harder to break down. And that when you feel fear, you should turn to other people that can help you. And then the bridge is taking courage to new heights. That was a reference to my giant swing story. That was something that I was really afraid of, but I learned to take courage to new heights. Learning to share my light was kind of just, this trip really helped me to find myself in a way, and learning how to share my light and how to kind of put myself out there a little more in situations where I may want to kind of become a hermit. Meeting people where they are and trying things that are hard. It was, like I've said, I'm afraid of heights, and I tried a zip line. My last experience with the zip line was not the best. I was very afraid. And so trying the zip line again was something that was kind of hard for me to do. And I just met so many new people from all over the world, from Alaska to Florida and like everywhere in between. And so, and we were all like in different stages. Some of us were older, some of us were younger, and just really meeting people and getting to know their story was just so cool. Um, and yeah, so this song is really just all the lessons that I learned from this trip, um, and how it's changed how I view friendships and being brave, and lessons that I've learned that have changed my life and that continue to change my life as I reflect on them. And honestly, it's one of my favorite originals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. And I will see you guys next Music Monday. Bye!